Then I took, was it because of his prayer? Because of his sovereignty. I took your father Abraham from the other side of the river, led him, is in the process of following God, led him throughout all the land of Canaan and multiplied his descendants and gave him Isaac. So at this point when he was taken, he was an idol worshiper. You will notice that in the Garden of Eden, one river parted into 4 river heads. Not so? Okay. Right from the beginning, he had been telling the story of what he would do with mankind. Abraham was an idol worshiper. Through Abraham and Ishmael, Islam came into the world, another river. And through Christ Jesus, through Moses, Aaron, Judaism came. All right? Okay? So there was Ishmael before Judaism. And out of Judaism came Christianity. And you think God does not know how to bring all back to himself? All the families of the earth shall worship before you. Wait and see. It's our year of evangelism, soul winning, and God is to confirm, he's going to confirm his word with signs and wonders that's following when we step out to let others know that the work of reconciliation is completed already. You have no right to look down on anybody and call them unbelievers until you present the gospel in an intelligent manner to them and they choose to reject. They are will-be believers. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Don't run after the gold that the river produces. And there was river, it was gold, there was silver. Don't worship gold. You are going to use it to worship God. Can I hear amen?
Amen.
Acts of the Apostles chapter 7. It's not in my note, give it to me. How did they turn away from idolatry? Acts 7, beginning from verse 1. It was a submission of Stephen. His eyes were shining like that of an angel. And they asked him, are these things so? Acts chapter 7, verse number 1. Then the high priest said, are these things so? And he said, brethren and fathers, listen. The God of glory appeared to our father Abraham when he was in Mesopotamia, before he dwelt in Haran, and said to him, get out of your country and from your relatives and come to a land that I will show you. Who appeared to Abraham? God of glory. God of glory. God came with his majestic splendor and showed them what is greater than all idols of the world. He appeared in glory and said, get out of your country. Or along in his glory. It's not possible. See, the trouble of you and me is lack of genuine conversion. How many years did Peter follow Jesus? About 3.5 years. When he was about going to the cross, he turned to Simon, said, Simon, Simon, the devil has desired to have you and to sift you, but I have prayed for you that your faith will not fail. And when you are converted, strengthen your brethren. Was he not converted before? He had gotten power, delegated authority to cast out devils, to heal. He had brought results. There's still a work of conversion that needs to take place in your life. What we lack is genuine conversion. Okay, let's leave it there. But I answered the altar call. No, you said after them. Say after me. Psychological salvation. Our style of cerebral soul winning. If God's word will cut through your heart, you'll be the one saying, men and brethren, what shall we do to be saved? And so if you really want to receive Christ today, all eyes bowed, all heads closed. Is it not the same thing? Because your head is closed, your eyes is bowing. You came into the church in your brain, but you left it outside. Okay, sorry, I'm not abusing you. I'm just being honest with you. All heads bowed and all eyes closed. Don't look anywhere. Lift up one finger if you really want to receive Jesus today. Okay, I can see that hand there. Okay, I can see another hand there. Please get up. get up, get up. Everybody keep on praying. They are coming in now and they come. Say after me, Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus. And then you baptize them. You put dry sinners into water and you raise wet sinners after baptism. Their fornication continues. Their adultery continues. Their receiving bribe continues. But they are still showing up. And God is on a journey. He's taking them on a journey. They will have genuine conversion in the name of Jesus. You don't really believe me? Okay. Galatians chapter 3, 7 to 9. Galatians 3, 7 to 9. Therefore, know that only those who have faith are sons of Abraham. And the scripture foreseeing that God would justify the Gentiles by faith, preached the gospel to Abraham beforehand, saying, in you all the nations shall be blessed. If God was to show up to you at the age of 13 and begin to weave Nigeria into your heart like it did to me, you understand me? And you carry Nigeria in your heart from that tender 18 now, and somebody is coming around and saying, I have ambition, you say, I have vision. The companion of ambition is? What did he say? Anxiety. The companion of ambition is anxiety. You have to be plugging the hole here, plugging it. But the companion of vision is peace. Just stay where you are. They will have to call Solomon to come. They will have to call Joseph to come. They will have to call Daniel, Shadrach. Do you understand me? Stay where you are. If he says it, he will do it. He has never lied. As he said it, will he not do it? God is not man that he will lie. Are you with me? Yes, sir. Okay. I saw your application. Said, I want to know how to be part of Project 16. Wait till you know what it is before you join. He wrote to me. Ajoba Adadeo. Ajoba Adadeo. Enishe Bagbo. Enishe Leia. Ajoba Adadeo. Egbiri. Ajoba Ada. Mi ò gbọ́ o. Ajoba Adadeo. Enishe Bagbo. Enishe Leia. Ajoba Adadeo. Please help me interpret that to names when he's listening to the message. Because he told me, I will never marry a Yoruba woman. I kept quiet. And then the Lord showed me the woman that she will marry, who speaks Yoruba better than I am. Ajoba Adadeo. Okwari. Adadeo. Enishe Bagbo. Enishe Leia. Ajoba Adadeo. He's already made you kings and priests. Why are you behaving like somebody who does not know him? In James chapter 2, verse 23, the idolater became friend of God. How did he? We need to establish this thing so that you do not write yourself off. Before you sinned, after you have sinned, and when you subsequently sin, he is paid for it. And is going to take you through to the point that sin will have no dominion over you. He will sort you out. Can I hear amen? And the scripture was fulfilled, which says, Abraham believed God and was accounted to him or credited to him for righteousness. It was credit card. When you use your debit card, it's out of your account instantly. But when you use your credit card, it's another person's money you are using. Who is going to pay? You. So when they credit you with righteousness, it will now take you on training so that you become righteous. It is that training that is causing conflict. And he was called the friend of God. Remember, Jehoshaphat stood before God in the temple and said, are you not the God of our father Abraham, your friend forever? So have you seen the process? Okay. The second thing we'll look at what Abraham found regarding the flesh. It was after he left home at the age of 75. Well, I don't know if chase baby more. You should understand. I mean, at 75, because he come back more. More interest more at all. And then Sarah took the forbidden fruit from the Garden of Eden and gave it to Abraham, just as Eve did to Adam, and Abraham ate again. Do you know how long he had left home? Do you know how many altars he had built at this time, calling upon God? Do you know? And when Sarai suggested, said, look, we have been here for 10 years. All this God is going to give us, I'm tired. This is my slave. She brought out a technology that will be copied by Rachel and Leah later. She's my slave. Anything she has is mine. So go into her, Abraham Makubami. She's not my wife. He said, okay, ceremony. I'm giving her to you as your wife. Bam! The Middle East crisis today, terrorism generating from that area, is rooted in that just one moment of indiscretion, of listening to the counsel of a wife after God had spoken to you that the son is coming from your loin, of disobeying God to obey your wife. What did he find concerning the flesh? And what is the flesh? The hidden disposition in human being to do evil. That's flesh. It's not upper epidermis and lower epidermis. Doctors can cut through that. No doctor can locate flesh. They can cut skin. The hidden disposition to do evil. What did he find? Shall we? Romans chapter 4, verse 1 to 8. What then shall we say that Abraham our father has found according to the flesh? For if Abraham was justified by works, he has something to boast about, but not before God. For what does the scripture say? Abraham believed God and was accounted to him for righteousness. Now to him who works, the wages are not counted as grace, but as debt. But to him who does not work, but believes on him who justifies the ungodly, just as if you have not seen, who justifies the ungodly, his faith is accounted for righteousness. Just as David also described the blessedness of the man to whom God imputes righteousness apart from works. Blessed are those whose lawless deeds are forgiven and whose sins are covered. Blessed is the man to whom the law shall not impute sin. You have just committed sin immediately now, and Satan showed up to say you are a sinner. And God says he's a prophet. You're not following me. Abimelech said, I did this in the innocence of my hands and integrity of my heart. He said, yes, I know you did. He told me, he said, sister, God, will you slay a righteous nation? He said, that's why I showed up. I restrain you from sinning against me. Restore his wife to him is a prophet. Will you call Abraham a prophet at this stage? What did our father Abraham find concerning the flesh? We'll take some moment there. Number 3. Finally, we will look at the training in righteousness that God gave Abraham as he continually obeyed God. That's the training you lack when you run away from Bible study. That's the training you do not want to embrace when you are being corrected. I'm putting it inside. We'll fix it at home, okay? Dear friends, before the arrival of the sons of the concubines, that the concubines bore to Abraham, before the arrival of the sons of the concubines, Abraham initially had two sons. One by compromise, namely Ishmael, who was born to the uncircumcised Abraham. The father of Isaac and the father of Ishmael are not the same. The father of Ishmael is uncircumcised Abraham. The father of Isaac is circumcised Abraham. If you think H there is a waste of time, then Saul is not Paul, Simon is not Peter, and Jacob is not Israel. There's a process. The other son by covenant, not by compromise, was named Isaac. May God fill your mouth with laughter in the name of Jesus. Now, here is a critical challenge of our faith. Yeah, I can stop here if you can't take any more. Because if you don't understand this struggle, you will be falling and rising and returning to your sin like a dog. You will commingle righteousness with unrighteousness. You will be awake to guilt. What an amazing time we just had in the presence of God. I hope you are richly blessed. My heartfelt desire is that you may light up your word with the illumination you have just received. May the immeasurable grace of God empower you to act on what you've heard and to walk in the revealed counsel of God. Always remember that it takes a transformed life to transform a family, a society, or a nation. So let God do his work in you so that he can do his work through you. And as you proceed on this journey of destiny, remember that our ultimate destination is God. I pray that God's footprint will become your pathway and that your path will be as a shining light that shines brighter and brighter to a perfect day. This message will continue next week by God's grace. Until then, remain sandwiched between the peace of God and the God of peace. Have an amazing week. Bye for now. Shalom.
It for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bukky November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
There is no voting on social media. To vote, you would require a permanent voter's card. To get your PVC, visit cvr.inecnigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from Plus TV Africa. Good morning, I am Mercy Bokpo. This is a news brief. Agreed pensioners have taken their predicament of being owed 35 and 74 months of pension arrears and gratuity to some anti-graft agencies. The group on a peaceful protest to the EFCC, ICPC and DSS are demanding for the immediate payment of 6 months pension arrears out of 35 and 74 months owed state and local government pensioners. Plus TV Africa correspondent in Makadi, Francis Terra, files in this report, presented in our studio.
The pensioners were also calling for the harmonization of their pension as required by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria after every 5 years. One of the pensioners, Jeff Godwin, expressed dismay at the state government's unwillingness to pay pensioners their entitlement despite the federal government's revenue allocation, bailout, and Pari Club and other borrowings.
Served 35 years of service. Our dues are not forthcoming. Right now, as I'm discussing with you, we were not paid for 35 months. We were paid lastly 8 August 2019. Our reason coming to AFCC is to let them know that this is what has happened between the federal state government.
Another pensioner, Rose Pom, said that some of them have lost their spouses due to the hardship occasioned by the non-payment of monthly pension and gratuity.
We have been writing, we have approached the governor himself. There was a time we went and stayed at the gate. He was at Abuja, he came back himself to meet us. He talked to us and we explained ourselves that we cannot eat, many are dying. Most of us are on drugs. And we cannot even buy our drugs. So he now said, well, he will see to us that from that day, he will leave the months behind and start paying every month. But nothing like that has happened.
To Moses Jen, who retired in 1995, he said he has not been paid since 2019.
This situation is very bad. But no increment for our pension. The former governor said we increase our salary, no improve it and leave it. This one call we cry how many times go at least make an increase. At least 10,000 or 20.
Speaking to newsmen after the peaceful protest, Chairman Benue State Concerned Aggrieved Pensioners, Comrade Akose Urban, condemned the state government's refusal to do the needful, which he said has reduced them to scavengers and beggars after serving their fatherland.
Whenever we say he should pay us, it will be foot dragging. There is money. We know that there is money. But he is not interested in paying us. He is only interested in suffering us. You see, pensioners are protesting.
A document was then submitted to the agencies with the hope that the state government will be committed to doing the needful.
Plan to cover what he has been doing to us. It's just a plan to sideline us, to let us lie down without saying that we will do this or do that. That is all.
Nigerian airline operators have issued a notice that with effect from Monday the 9th May, they will shut down their operations due to high cost of aviation fuel, which has hit 700 naira per litre. The travelling public who intend to fly are advised to make alternative arrangement to avoid being stranded at the country's airport. Over time, aviation fuel Jet A1 has risen from 190 naira per litre to 700 naira currently. Meanwhile, the Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirikar, has begged Nigerian airline to suspend the planned shutdown of operations from Monday over the high cost of aviation fuel. Nigerian Airlines, under the aegis of Airline Operators of Nigeria, announced plans to shut down operations from Monday due to high cost of aviation fuel. The minister urged the airlines to consider the multiplier effect shutting down operations would have on Nigerians and the global travelers. Sirikar assured Nigerians, especially stakeholders, that Buhari administration remain stoic in its commitment to creation and substance of an environment that promotes the growth of the aviation industry. The President and Chairman of the Council of Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, Dr. Adebayo Olugbemi, has called on the federal government and asked you to find amicable way of resolving issues relating to ASUU strike for the benefit of students. Dr. Olugbemi made the call in Owerri during the commissioning of Bankers Hall built by the association to promote the study of banking and finance at the Federal Polytechnic, Nekede. He said no country can make progress or development without giving priority to education.
It makes possible all developmental achievements. As such, there is need to unleash the potential of the human mind, and there is no better tool for doing so than education. It is for this reason, and on this note, that I want to passionately appeal to the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, to find a way to amicably resolve the issues relating to the lingering ASUU strike for the benefit of our teeming youths and the educational sector. The Institute, as the conscience and moral compass of the banking and finance industry, is resolute and committed to the observance and maintenance of ethics and professionalism among practitioners in the industry.
It's their bond. The relationship between CIBN and the Federal Polytechnic Nekede dates back to 2015, when the Memorandum of Understanding for the linkage program was signed. Since then, we have continued to encourage our students to leverage on this opportunity to become chartered bankers. As a result, in 2020, Federal Polytechnic Nekede was rated the best linkage institution in Southeast.
It's something like this that we want for our country. That those who have opportunity and leadership in our country must think about value, adding value wherever you are. I think that is very critical, that's very important, because today the CIBN has added value to the Nekede Polytechnic.
Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar says Nigeria has been wallowing in disunity because of the APC government has been unfair to all parts of the country. Atiku stated this in Abeokuta, Ogun State, while addressing PDP delegates ahead of the presidential primaries. Meanwhile, he promised to unite Nigeria by giving every part of sense of belonging, tackle insecurity, and implement his economic development blueprint towards transforming the country.
This unity is because the APC government has not been fair to all parts of this country. And I promise to unify this country. I promise to give a sense of belonging to every part of this country. We have done it before in 1999. When we came, there was also a lot of disunity, but not as bad as this. But the first thing we did was to make sure that we form a government of national unity. And that gave us the calmness and the unity we needed to govern. As long as the country is not united, as long as there is no calm, As long as there is no peace, you cannot govern, even in your own home. Not to talk of a complex country like Nigeria, which is multi-ethnic and multi-religious. So I promise to give every part of this country a sense of belonging.
What Nigerians need, what the youths need, is not money, but an environment, an opportunity for them to have sustained livelihood. And that is what Atiku is giving that others are not talking about.
Consensus where practicable is good, but where it is not practicable, we should all go to the field. Now we should leave our analog mentality of rotation or zoning. We should go become a meritorious society where the best will always have it. And Nigerians, this time more than ever in our lives, need to put the best foot forward. And Atiku is the best foot for now.
We have never witnessed the kind of disunity.
The Director General of Tinubu Support Group, Abdul Mumin Jibrin, has dumped the APC. He announced this via his Twitter handle. He said he would announce his new party as soon as possible. A former governor of Osun State, Bisi Akonde, says the Southwest is united and will work to produce Nigeria's next president. He made the comment while speaking to journalists at the end of a meeting of presidential aspirant of the All Progressive Congress APC from the Southwest. Akonde said it was agreed that the aspirant should shun divisiveness and go about their campaigns with maturity.
The elders of the APC caucus in the Southwest, to let you know that we are having, a reason to let you know that we are united on purpose. And the purpose is to ensure that the presidency of Nigeria in 2023 will come to Southwest. Thank you very much.
Language. So, can we ask questions?
No question, except to tell you that all of us must talk to ourselves and to the public with absolute decorum, because we are united.
A former lawmaker representing Rivers Southeast, the Senator Magnus Abe, has said that the time to beat on him as a right choice to become the leader of the Rivers State of their dreams is now or never. Senator Abe made the disclosure while addressing his supporters and All Progressive Congress faithfuls at the Captain Polytechnic, Port Harcourt.
The gathering was to draw more support for his governorship ambition and the presidential bid of Bola Ahmed Tinubu ahead of the fast approaching APC primaries. Abe, who said the party cannot win the election in the state in 2023 if it presents an outsider as its candidate, urged the people to consider the interest of the state first before making their choice on who can win the election for the party and not on tribal sentiment.
So I am talking to our brothers from Kalabari. I am talking to our brothers from Andoni. I'm talking to our brothers from Opobo. Do not let anybody use your head to pursue their own thing. Time has come for us to take a decision that will place our own interests first. In doing so, we must pick a candidate for Rivers APC that is sure to deliver the brick house to the party.
The former lawmaker explained further that he joined the APC with the hope that things would be better for Nigeria and the citizens, and that his support for the APC national leader, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for president in 2023 is because he has what it takes to deliver for the party and develop the country. Another former lawmaker, Senator Wilson Ake, and other APC stakeholders said the party cannot afford to gamble again concerning the governorship election in the state.
I am supporting Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. And the reason I am supporting him is simple. I looked at all those who want to run. I looked at all those who claim they have done this and that. And I saw that Asiwaju is the person in the APC that can deliver that killer punch that will keep the party in power after Buhari.
You cannot gamble without your vote during the primary. Don't gamble with it. I'm appealing to every APC member, wherever you are, to use that vote, to use that support wisely this time.
Our organic brothers respectfully elected for the Ijaw brothers. Didn't it happen? Now we say governor should go to River Southeast. We say Ogoni should wait again. Let another tribe take again. So when will it be the turn of Ogoni to be governors of River State? What is fair is fair.
I also preach the good news of the Jagaban of Africa, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for President 2023. Students are not pushovers. Students can make changes in society. You agree? The ball is in your court.
Abe promised to form a government that will not only be centered on APC supporters, but on every Nigerian who reside in the state.
Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has said the country under President Muhammadu Buhari is great because since the inception of the administration, many things have changed positively. He disclosed this in Yola when he visited APC delegates to canvass for their support ahead of the presidential primaries. He said at the moment the country needs serious leaders that will make Nigeria greater and take over from the good works of President Buhari.
There are so many things we can do. We all need to focus and be determined to be a great contributor to the development of our country. Killing doesn't kill problems. Because poverty has no tribal mark. Hunger has no tribe. It is only God Almighty that can give you the blessings and the protection that you desire. Is through hard working and belief in goal that you can achieve your goal. This country has all the potential to be great. But we cannot say potential by mouth. We have to work towards it. We have to choose leaders with intelligence, capacity, courage, and perseverance.
As political parties put price tags on the presidential forms for aspirant, Nigerians react to this amount, and that's on our Street Views. Take a listen.
As a people, these are things that we need to take into consideration when making our choice of a party to support or the candidates to support, because there is consequence to such things being put in place. You don't expect someone that pays a huge price and buys from his pocket to actually then not want to recoup that money. Where do they get such money from to buy just a form where it's not guaranteed you're going to win? So, as citizens, we need to be watchful of that and make our decisions.
It's not ideal, especially if you look at what's going on in the country now. 100 million is a lot of money. I don't want to use the word absorb, but it's a lot of money. And the consideration is, for me, is what's the basis? How did you come about 100 million? I think the other parties are doing 40 million, 35. Even 10 million is a lot of money, given the fact that we're looking for a leader now who doesn't necessarily have to have all the way to do financially, but a leader who knows what it is that the country needs or is expected of him.
They are making the money for the party. The party belongs to the money belongs to the party. So you can never say maybe it's wrong or it's right. Because even though they say it's a trillion. If you have the power, you do it, you pay it.
It doesn't make any sense at all. That's too much. At least should have been like 50,000 at least. Actually, that's too much. 100 million, no. 100 million, 100,000, I don't understand. 100 million, no, that's too much. No, it's too much. No.
If a Nigerian, an individual will bring out 100 million from his purse to buy for form to run for the presidency, meaning that he has trillions of naira in his account. Therefore, EFCC is supposed to go there and find out what is working. If you happen to buy the form too, what are you going there to do? You must bring your money back, put your interest before you think of others.
That's ridiculous. In fact, when I heard the news, and I'm wondering, where do they want like genuine people to actually get this kind of money? People that can afford it are people that are actually stealing. The other time, a certain man did a burial and EFCC invited him over to probe him because of the money he spent for the burial. So EFCC should also invite these ones that are able to buy these forms and then probe them and ask them where they got that money from, because you can't tell me it's not it's genuine. Even if it's genuine, when they enter now, they will want to steal and get back that money.
And to other parts of Africa, Somalia's government has asked the International Monetary Fund, IMF, to extend its financial support by 3 months to August 17. In February, the IMF warned that Somalia's delayed legislative and presidential election risks the renewal of a 3-year budget support program worth nearly $400 million. Presidential elections have now been set for May the 15th. And outside Africa, Afghanistan's Taliban government ordered women to cover their faces in public. This is a return to a signature policy of their past hardline rule and in an escalation of restrictions that are causing anger at home and abroad. Details in this report.
Afghanistan's Taliban government ordered women on Saturday to cover their faces in public. A return to a signature policy of their past hardline rule, and an escalation of restrictions that are causing anger at home and abroad. A decree from the group's supreme leader said that if a woman did not cover her face outside her home, her father or closest male relative could face potential imprisonment or firing from state jobs. The group says the ideal face covering is the all-encompassing blue burqa, which was obligatory for women in public during the Taliban's previous 1996 to 2001 rule. Most women in Afghanistan wear a headscarf for religious reasons, but many in urban areas such as Kabul do not cover their faces. The Taliban has faced intense criticism from Western governments, but also from some religious scholars and Islamic nations, for limiting women's rights, including keeping girls' high schools closed. Nazar Qasimzada, a burqa seller in Kabul, requested that the Taliban be kind to their nation, since the Afghan people have suffered a lot in the past 40 years. The U.S. and others have cut development aid and sanctioned the banking system, pushing Afghanistan towards economic ruin. The Taliban claims that it has changed since its last rule. However, in recent months, it has brought in regulations limiting women's movement without a male chaperone and banning men and women from visiting parks together.
And in business news, rising price of crude oil may lead to high inflation and slow growth across the country. The International Monetary Fund stated this in a new report titled Lower Oil Resilience Insulates the World from 19th-style Crude Oil Shock. According to the IMF, the war in Ukraine and sanctions on Russia are causing substantial economic spillovers, notably for energy. And to some entertainment news, Timi, an actress, model, and daughter of billionaire businessman Femi Otedola, has opened up on the reason she accepted the marriage proposal of her singer and lover, Oluwatosin Ajibade, also known as Mr. Easy. On April the 10th, 2022, Otedola posted a video of the proposal which took place in London. In a recent interview, Timi stated that she feels a sense of peace when with Mr. Easy. Describing her engagement ring as rocky, Timi said that before she starts planning her wedding, she wants to enjoy being engaged. And to some sports news, German Alexander Zverev overpowered Greek Stefanos Tsitsipas 6-4, 3-6, 6-2 Saturday to advance on the Madrid Open final, where he will meet red-hot Spaniard Carlos Alcaraz, who earlier relied past Novak Djokovic. Zverev has been almost unbeatable at the event with a 19-2 record, but Alcaraz will be bidding for his second Masters 1000 title this year on Sunday, May 8th final. Zverev's dominant serving proved too much for the Tsitsipas to handle, and he crushed a backhand winner on match point to seal his first career win over Tsitsipas on a clay court.
No, I think, yes, I have been playing well, so I'm just renting it. But it's going to be his court for the next 15 years probably. So it has been Rafa's court for the past 15 years, and it's going to be his court for the next 15 years. So I just hope I can give him some trouble, and I can hope I can manage to win.
And that's the news brief. For more stories, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa and Plus TV Africa Lifestyle. Many thanks for watching. I am Messi Bopo. There is no voting on social media. To vote, you would require a permanent voter's card. To get your PVC, visit cvr.inecnigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from Plus TV Africa.
Life can be fun and rewarding, but it also comes with some risk. As in business, you win some, you lose some. And that's why you need to be wise in the choices you make. It's like placing a bet. Again, you need to be wise. Wise in choosing an innovative platform with the highest market options and highest odds ever. That's why Winners Golden Bet, the leader in online, in-shop, virtual, and live sports betting, gives you enhanced platforms that offer you the best chances of winning. For betting on live soccer matches, live dog races, and virtual games. Winners Golden Bet is your best bet. Instant payment of winnings guaranteed. Play online or in any of our numerous shops nearest to you.
Hey guys, be wise. Play on Winners Golden Bet.
Winners Golden Bet, the wise choice.
Seize it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
How can we have peace without justice?
Plus Politics. It's not just another political conversation, it's about keeping you in the know. Relevant interviews, asking the tough questions to those that matter. Get the answers you need. Does it mean that the people who were injured, people who were shot at, those who were involved in that stampede are not going to get justice?
It is unfortunate, it is sad that we have a government of deaf and dumb.
Analysis from top experts.
The last election was not really an election.
We feel that Obasanjo has a very special place in his heart for hating Ijaw people.
I think it really boils down to two things. One, trust and accountability.
Plus Politics, every weeknight at 7 p.m. on Plus TV Africa.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. On the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
All right. With its origin in the socialist movement, May 1st, or is it 1st of May, or is it May Day?
May 1.
Or Labor Day, was, called a day of protest for workers who demand 8 hours of work per day, and thus the birth of Labor Day internationally. Would you believe that, Helen?
Mm-hmm. And so it's what's also knowing that Labor Day or the International Workers' Days has deep roots in the 130 years of labor movement and its effort to improve workers' condition across the globe. So May 1 is significant in that it commemorated the Haymarket riot and aftermath of bombing at the labor strike in Chicago in 1986. Did you know that?
We're talking Chicago.
Yes.
Why don't we bring it
It's
back
all over the
home?
world.
Well, anyway, today more than 160 countries celebrate Labor Day as a work-free day. And often it's a day of parades, demonstrations, rallies, and sometimes riots in major cities around the world, basically to highlight challenges workers still encounter and push for improved labor rights.
And so here at home, like you said earlier on Sunday the 1st of May, 2022, Nigeria joined many other countries of the world to celebrate the contribution of the workforce to society. Today we intend to x-ray the tradition and its true relevance against the backdrop of life and work balance, as well as how we must deal with the horrible bosses who are out there and also some horrible employees.
Horrible bosses, horrible employees.
So I say hello and welcome to a conversation that is definitely important to almost everyone there. I'm Helen Ongma Odele. The name hasn't yet changed on.
No, it hasn't changed, Helen.
It hasn't.
So true, Helen. In a society where majority are employees, isolating the International Workers' Day for a robust discussion is necessary. I'm happy to be here, and I thank you for joining us on Today with John and Helen. I am John Senaya.
All right, so John, let's get right to it, shall we?
Yeah, let's dive into it, like we say. Yes, Helen, after we take a break, to enable us to catch my breath, I don't know about your breath, we will dive into it. So don't change the channel. We'll be right back before you know it. Stay with us.
Okay, so on the show this morning, or today, the relevance and the effectiveness of the celebration of International Workers' Day is on the front burner. And especially as it relates to workers in our immediate environment. Now, what used to be when we talk about workers and
has it changed? Has anything changed? The reason for all of the agitations, have they changed over the years? How can we balance life and work? How do we deal with horrible employers and employees? And a lot more questions that we have on our
horrible employees.
Horrible employees. Terrible. There are some of them out there.
Yeah.
And employers too.
Okay. Well, anyway, our very experienced guest on this matter is already with us online.
Yeah.
And before we hit the ground, let's talk about a few things that have kept our minds ticking this week. Helen, you're usually very good with observing things
What can
around.
I think of? Okay.
So tell us, what has kept you?
Well, a lot of politicking here and there.
Yes.
I mean, you can't be in this environment now and not be, in the know of all of that. So many people coming on to be wanting to be president, wanting to be governors and all of that. And that's politicking
that's
everywhere in season.
Yeah.
And insecurity still not abating.
Continues. Yeah.
All over the country, north, east, west, and south. We're still hearing some very disturbing news.
Gory stories.
Gory stories. One very pathetic was the one, two persons' spouse, a husband and a wife to be, from the military on their way to the east. And was it on Tuesday or Wednesday for their traditional marriage? John, can you believe it? And they were apprehended, they were abducted, and they were slaughtered.
Slaughtered. Barbaric.
But the good news is that the people who did it, somehow there's some investigation going on, and the military has sworn that they must find.
Back the dead?
It would never. It would never.
It doesn't.
And
the ASU strike.
Still on, almost more than 2 months now.
Yeah, and I hear that there are some other groups joining in.
Yeah. And
we really must feel a lot of pity
and
for.
NAN has come in to say that there will be no primaries anywhere unless the schools, the universities are opened. I don't know what strategies they have. I don't know how they plan to do that. But yes, they have come to say,
Wow.
Yes, we need to go back to school. If we don't go back to school...
We need to go back to school. We need to go back to school. And talking about which, as much as I'd have loved for us to switch over to, get off all of this and switch over to our guest, I think we need to get her back online. She's gone online, offline temporarily.
Okay.
And we'll get her shortly. So...
I also stumbled on another news, I don't know how true it is, that the airlines are threatening to stop operation, like from Monday.
Helen, next week, could you give us positive news?
Okay.
It's all negative. Anyway, our guest is back. That's good news for us. Our guest is back. And of course, this is Today with John and Helen. It's live on Plus TV Africa. It's a show which caters for the needs of the family. May 1, 1st of May 1, I don't know which one to choose, or the International Workers' Day is our focus on this edition of the show.
Okay, so straight away, let's meet our guest, who is a seasoned human resource professional with a career spanning over 18 years. Cutting across the finance and human resource functions within the oil and gas transportation, fabrication, heavy equipment, and power generation industry. She's gone through all of this. She's been a worker for over 18 years. Our guest is a graduate of management and accounting from the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, with an MBA from the prestigious Lagos Business School.
Impressive. Well, permit me to add also that our guest, is also a certified project management and global human resource professional. She's a life coach. She enjoys mentoring young graduates and upcoming professionals. Mrs. Oluwatoyin Oshinaike has seen it all in the work arena and is here to answer our numerous questions. Welcome to Today with John and Helen.
Madam.
Madam.
Welcome. And this Yes, thank you so much for joining us on the show. This should
Thank you for having me.
With all of your
And
experience.
John, you should get an award. You pronounced the surname quite well.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Thank you.
He stumbled on the first day.
I'm indeed I'm flattened.
But he made up for it.
I'm flattened. Thank you so much. So I think for that reason I should fire the first salvo. We have loads and loads of questions for you, regarding Workers' Day and all of that. Now, today's worker, looks more weary, tired, stressed up than yesterday's worker. What would be the reasons behind this?
When you say today's worker and comparing to workers in the past,
yes,
I think what has happened is that we're juggling a lot more than the workers in the past were juggling. The problems seem the same, from afar, but when you take a closer look at it, you would realize that we're juggling more than our parents were juggling back then. You agree with me that the same, let me use this example, the same level of infrastructure hasn't gotten any better. And we are still coping with life with those same infrastructures. A good example is the traffic gridlock. We have the same road network that my parents had back then. In fact, at times when I talk about when I used to work in a papa, then in 2010, and I tell my mom that I was working with Niger Dock and it was right next door to Tin Can. At times we were leaving the office and just hear don't bother today because a container has fallen across the road. And then we're trekking 2 hours and people can't come to work the next day. So I was sharing that with my mom and she was like, when I was working in that axis, it was the same story.
Would our politicians agree with you? Because they've always promised new roads, water, power. Would they agree with you?
Oh, no, you see, everybody will talk from their own perspective and everybody will tell you what they feel that you want to hear. It's for you to decide how the shoe pinches you and what you want to do about it.
That's right, yes. That's right.
Okay.
So, go on.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned this Apapa axis, Lagos is very peculiar. And I was in Apapa for just last week or 2 weeks ago, after like 10 years or 6-7 years. And that madness is still there, but a little bit controlled. The big trailers are parked on one side and there's some small passage for people to move around. And so one wonders that when you're talking about workers' welfare, the worker is expected to be at work every day, except you have a saint for a bus, and then you have to go through all of this. But even at that, some people tell us today that workers of this day have more job opportunities. Would you say this is correct?
Oh, yes, I agree. You hear, I'm sure you've heard a lot of talk about the future of work. And, as a lot of people will tell you, the future of work is now. People have choices now. The choices they didn't have those days. You know why? Because of the advent of social media, because of the advancement of technology, there are options. I'll use myself as an example. With the advent of COVID in 2020, a lot of us would have said work from home is not possible. It's not an option. But even bosses that would want to micromanage you and have you in the office had to contend with the fact that there was nothing they could do about it, at least for that period of time. And working from home, a lot of people discovered that it could work better. And a lot of people, even bosses, discovered that, okay, I'm still getting what I want. But in the same vein, some other people found that they couldn't cope. They needed to be in the office. Yeah. And then, to digress a bit, some people found the opportunity that they could have a side hustle and actually run with it. Then they had the mind that, okay, yeah, I have an option. And they don't. And after the COVID and people started coming back to the office, they decided, no, I don't think I want to do this anymore. and they went with their side hustle, because during that period, the side hustle had actually, gained ground, and they were making a lot of money, and they were thinking to themselves, trying to weigh the options, and they're like, I think I'm better off working from home. At least I don't have to report to that horrible boss. So yes, there are more options now than we had back then.
So clearly we're on the same page there. It's not for lack of options, right? The worker today has more options, more opportunities. Now we say more perspiration, less inspiration. And that appears to be the best description for the typical Nigerian worker today. He's scrambling around everywhere, but he's not inspired. What do you think? What do you really think would inspire him?
Okay. I'd like to answer this question from the perspective of a coach and a therapist. Let me share something with you. I was in the kitchen yesterday evening, and my son said something. He said, Mommy, he's about 9 years old. He said, Mommy, happiness, money cannot buy you happiness. I said, yes, you're right. And my first daughter goes, but Mommy, it can. And, I was trying to get her thought. I said, so what do you think? What do you need money for? I said, buy things, buy this, buy that. And I told her, I said, how many people do you know of recent that have committed suicide? And that had loads of money? And she paused. I said, think about it. Happiness is a choice. We're all faced with different various circumstances. Some people will tell you, okay, if I get this job, I'll be happy. If I get married, I'll be happy. The same way in the workplace as well. You'll get to work in some places. You might get the inspiration you need, get a good boss. Good for you. Yeah. But there are times you might find yourself in places where your boss, going to work in the morning, you're feeling depressed. Your blood pressure is going up, your heart is palpitating because you don't know what you'll meet for that day. Yeah. But in the midst of it all, you tell yourself, I'm doing this because I love what I do. Or I'm doing this for this time, just for the time being. I have a plan B. So there must be something within you that brings about that inspiration. If you're looking outside for the inspiration, especially in today's world, you might have to look for a very long time.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. All right. So many things are flying through my head as you answer. I read a piece last week where they were, bringing back the previous leaders of this country, from Awolowo, to Tafawa Balewa, to his Gowon himself. At very early age, they were matured enough to take leadership positions. They were prepared. So when we talk about the job opportunities now are more than they used to be, I'm asking, are the youth of today, are the workers actually prepared, to take these additional responsibilities that bring in more resources? That's tickling in my head. But my question for you at this point is, as a fallout of this more work and less pay syndrome, how is the typical family affected? Because this is majorly a family show.
I'm glad you asked that question. And, and when you also asked as well, the first point you raised before you asked this question, that are the youths prepared as well to even take up opportunities? The first thing that came to my mind when you made that point was that it all stems from the family units. You agree with me that a lot of the values you hold dear today and your beliefs, or whatever your belief system is today, if you take a good look at it, you'll discover that it stems from the family unit or your associations when you were growing up. The psychologist will tell you that give me a child for the first 7 years of his life and he's mine forever. It's a profound statement, because a lot of the beliefs and values we work with today as individuals stems from our experiences when we were growing up, and most of it from the family unit. Now, if the family unit is not value driven, and the values also depend, that's another thing. Your values is different from my own values. But there should be a fundamental or a basic factor that runs through all the values. It's humanity. That's the most important thing. So the values you were brought up with and the values I was brought up with should, whatever they are, should all stem towards being humane towards one another. That's the key factor for me. now, these days, because just like you said, back to your question, a lot of because of the race, the rat race, the struggle to make ends meet, a lot of families find themselves in a position they do not want to be. But if you ask me, it's at that point in time that you should sit back and ask yourself, what is your goal in life? What are the things that you hold dear? For example, when I started my career, I knew I would be a career person. I love to work, but I told myself that family first. I remember going for an interview back then, and we finished the interview, and they said, "Do you have any questions?" After I'd asked the question, my second question was, "I hope it's not compulsory for me to work weekends and to work late." And the guy looked at me. I said, "No, don't get me wrong. If I have work to do, you don't have to tell me I'll work late because I want to deliver. If I have to come in on a Saturday, if I need to, I would come in. You don't have to tell me. But I don't want you to tell me it's compulsory." And the guy looked at me and said, "You actually took out time to ask that question." I said, "Yes, because my family comes first."
Wow.
Because it was a decision I had made. And the guy was wondering that. And I was like, the choice is yours. If you want me or not, what are you after? Is it for me to deliver or for me to do the high service of my boss's store here so I can't leave? No, I won't do that. Because at that point in time, I had a growing family.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't compromise it for anything. So for me, if you ask me, yes, a lot of families do have to face that struggle these days. But like I said, the choice is yours. You have to decide what's important to you, what's your priority list. And on that list, what is most paramount to you?
Yeah. But you see, I like the scenario that you painted. But it would appear that you were probably working from a position of strength. I mean, maybe your employers...
I was out of a job. John, sorry to cut in. I was out of a job at that point in time. I had just had my first child, and I was out of a job for a year before I started looking for a job again.
The point I'm even trying to make is that for a lot of people, they may be too scared or,
too desperate.
Too desperate.
Not wanting to lose the work, the opportunity.
Yes.
To now give those counter
conditions,
to employers. But it's the point you have made is well taken and understood. But again, we just want to look at people who may be weaker than you are, in negotiating for jobs.
Okay, John, let me come in there. You see, I've also been in that position before. And let me tell you what I did, because I've had the opportunity to move around. I tell people not by choice, but that's the way events have played out in my life, and I have no regrets. I've been home for about 2 years, and by then I had my third child. And you agree with me that in Nigeria, relying on the income of just one partner in the home for 2 years, it's a lot of struggle, because whether you have savings, you have investment, you have to start replenishing at one point in time or the other.
Yes.
And I went for the interview. Usually it's my husband that takes me for most of my interviews. So I went for the interview and I got to that place, I had the interview. And when I got into the car, I told my husband, I said, "I'm not really keen about working here." And he told me, he said, to be sincere, even looking from outside, he's not really keen about me working here. But I sat back and I looked at, what options do I have? I've been home for 2 years, and reality is, knocking at the door. I had to make a decision quick and fast.
Yes.
So I thought about it. Okay, what can I deal with? What can I not deal with? Let's start out first. But while I start out, it's the opportunity for me to even get my foot in the door first and get back into the work environment. Yes. And then I might start looking at other options. So I had to take that call at that point in time. Yes, I understand. There are times you need to take those decisions.
Yes. Well, okay. I'm sure you'll agree with me that the Nigerian worker, as a matter of fact, not just the Nigerian worker, most workers
all over the world
are hard workers. They work hard. People all over the world are working harder than ever before. But they say that the reward for hard work is more work. How can today's worker cope? His plate is full already. He's working hard already. But they now say that the reward for hard work is even more work. How so?
They say the reward for hard work is even more work. But you agree with me that if the hard work is not adding value, they won't give you more work.
Yeah.
Okay.
First thing, let's get that right.
Yes.
So if they tell me hard work, one of the line managers that told me hard work then was because I'd done very well in the assignments, the tasks that had been given to me. So I knew that it was time for more work. So we have to put it in perspective. If it's doing work that because they see that you've gotten a hang of the task and you can do better and they can challenge you, they give you more work, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if it is more work that in terms of labor, hard labor, and there are no what's the word now, no corresponding compensation in that regard, then we can say hard work, more work because you need to make more money.
Okay.
So in that instance,
yes.
You agree with me that even if you decide that you want to do the labor work as much as possible, get to a point in time that your body will tell you, I can't go on.
Yes. Even when the compensation is there.
Thank you. So now, back to where I started from, you have to decide yourself that, okay, hard work, more work, what is it making sense to me? If you tell me hard work, more work, it will make sense to me. That means I'm delivering, I'm adding value to the system and they're giving me more work. Hey, that's what I want to hear. Because very soon I'm going to be negotiating a higher pay or a bonus or something.
Yes.
But if it's hard work, labor work, and you're dying, oh please.
So
let me give you a good example.
Once you get to your break even in quotes, get to your break even point, you don't want to go beyond it for nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, for nothing. Yes, it's for nothing. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I had usually in my position, head of HR, you deal with the unions at times, and if I have admin reporting to me, you also have to deal with the drivers as well. And I remember there was a time I just resumed in a particular place, and I was looking at the overtime. Wow, it just didn't make sense.
Yes.
And I called the person that said, okay, was the head of the drivers, and I sat him down, quite elderly, much older than me anyway. And I sat him down, and I said, okay, I've done an analysis of the numbers, your hours, and all that. It doesn't make sense. There's no human being that can work like this. If you do, you won't be seated in that chair in front of me. So one, and then if you feel that you're getting, you're making much more money, down the line, we would hear that, one of them had high blood pressure, he's retired, he has high blood pressure, he had a stroke, and then you're raising money, funds to get him. And I'm like, well, you know what you're doing now? You're working yourself. You're working, excuse me, let me not use the word, but you're working, let me use the head off. I wanted to use another word on live TV. And you believe you're making the money, and then come 55, 60, they ask you to retire, and you're of no use to yourself or to your family. So you have to try to balance, know when to exactly. Yes. So whether hard work, more work, it's for you to decide. Oh, you're a good driver, I want you to come. You better ask yourself, what do you want to do? Yeah. And then you'll retire home. The family that you felt that would be there for you, you are not there for them because you spent most of the time working.
That's right.
So they're not around for you as well.
That's right.
Yes, reality comes calling, and then you ask yourself, was it worth it?
Okay. Well, once upon a time in this country, maybe about 40 years or less, we knew that even before you left the university, you had jobs, not one, waiting for you. And you were a toast, People would like to give you interviews here and there, and the jobs are there with good pay. Pay that was able to take the worker home. How far do you think that today's workers' pay takes them home, even in the midst of less employment opportunities?
Does it take them
if
home?
we're using
How
that
far does
word.
it take them?
How far does it take the worker? Today.
I read, I think I read an article, I can't remember where, that was it only about 92%, no, about 8% of Nigerians earn 60,000 naira and above.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that means a large portion earn what, just like John said, how far can the money take them? And that's why you see the advent and the embrace of side hustle. Because human nature is we'll find a way to cope.
Yeah.
And if you're somebody that say to yourself, all I can do is a honest work. I wouldn't do anything illegal. I wouldn't do anything that is immoral. You're forced to take a decision that, okay, what can I do on the side? So that's why you see that there's a rampant clamor, and people are clamoring more for side hustle, that I must have something doing outside. This money can't take me home. And then another thing is that is not working that is not, for lack of a better way to put it, that is working against workers is the labor law. It's quite outdated.
Okay.
There are no standards or anything, regulating how people are paid. Why I say this is because I remember working in a particular organization, and I'm telling the owner of the organization that this won't work. You're telling us to pay people 50,000. Let's sit down and calculate it. The transport to and fro and the lunch they will have. What's the money is gone. And he goes showing there are a lot of people out there who would jump at that offer.
Yeah. And quite frankly, that point
that's
that
a horrible.
Made, that point, that's the reality of what is happening.
So, exactly. So if there's nobody regulating that, and they know that truth because people are out there desperate, what would happen? People would actually jump at the offer. But like I said at the beginning, it's that the fact is that that's why you see people embracing side hustle. Because they need to survive.
Yeah. And you will even find, you'll even find husband and wife working, to earn an income. But again, there's a flip side to that coin. The home front suffers. What would even be your advice where husband and wife have to work to be able to, to meet up, but the home front suffers? What would you say to them? Yes. How do they balance it?
Okay, you've made a very valid point, and to be sincere, what we see in society today is part of the price we're paying for that, whether we want to admit it or not. That's the price we're paying for that, for those choices we've made over time. What usually helps a lot of people is the support system they have in place. Yeah. Now, I say that with a bit of, caution, or because when both parents have to work and put a support system in place, if the support system is not something you're comfortable with, but you have to make do with, you are not able to function well even at work. Why I'm saying this is I have a lot of people who are, even myself as well, when in a senior position, you have to have a driver because you're driving home from work, 3-4 hours traffic after the long day. You're left with no choice. I think I need to get a driver so that I don't die before my time. Secondly, you need to have a nanny for those that have young children. You need to have some other support, the general support system, whether family close by, your mom is still able to stay with you, things like that. You have to have them in place. But you agree with me that a lot of times the nannies and the drivers also are a challenge to have them in the home.
Because you have to pay them.
You have to, apart from paying them, like you said, the family as well affected. A lot of your children get their values from them.
Yes.
Because you were not home to, to actually be the one to teach those values.
Okay.
Now, for me, the way I coped with that was that there were certain times I had to be out of work, out of employment.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I needed to be with my children. So it was a choice I made.
Yes.
Okay.
One. Then secondly, whenever I take nannies, I usually, in fact, a lot of the nannies that worked with me are nannies that my parents engaged for me. Why? Because my mom would come in, get a nanny, and work with them for a while.
Okay.
So that was my own way of trying to, at least get somebody that shares the same values with me. Then I don't take young people. I take elderly people, women. And then I was also key about the fact that they must be able to speak Yoruba, and they must speak Yoruba to my children, because I wanted my children to speak and understand Yoruba.
Okay.
And they must be elderly so that in case anything happens at home, they know what to do immediately. So those were the choices for me in terms of a nanny, because you're coming into my home and you're staying with me in my home. Because back then, that was the choice I had to make.
Yeah,
so if I knew I was going to make that choice, let me go the extra mile of ensuring that the person I'm putting in place is someone I
is
can
able
have a
to-
level of trust.
is
in.
able to
Yes.
fill your shoes,
Is
at
it-
least to a
exactly.
large extent. Yes.
Exactly. And then, in addition to that, I had very good support from my husband as well throughout my career. He's been very supportive.
Great.
So he gets some, maybe like 6, 7 latest, is home. And I also get maybe around that 6, 7. They said there's bad traffic and maybe going to 8, 9.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
present, exactly. And then, okay, sorry, Helen, you want to ask?
It just comes across to me like that was an excellent balance. And answering John's question is that you're recommending some of these steps and strategies to a lot of mothers and families who are probably watching this program to say, if you find yourself in this position, this is probably
what
how
you
to
could
go
do,
about
yeah.
it. And for me, that makes a lot of sense.
It really does.
It does. It
Great,
does.
great. So, well, at this point, we will take a break.
Oh.
Okay.
Because we've gone out on the streets, we've asked a few questions, and we have some very interesting answers. So we'll go on this little break and hear what the people are saying out there.
Okay, we thank you so much for being with us on the show so far. This is the Family Center show on Plus TV Africa, and we call it Today with John and Helen. And on today's show, we are looking at the welfare of the workers, which is of very, very big interest to us, against the background that this is a family-centered program. If you would notice, we have deliberately left agitations out of it. You know, the labor war between the labor unions and government and all of those rights, because our emphasis is on how do we get the workers in a better place so that the family also can move forward.
Yes.
All right, so that's deliberate. Ona, our guest is still there? Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you for hanging in there with us.
Yes.
All right, John?
And thanks for your advice. You know, I've been rolling a lot of those things in my head since you spoke.
Okay.
And I think at this point we'll just move into, talking about
Bosses?
Yes, actually, we should talk about horrible bosses
and the workers.
It's something that Helen has
Yes.
repeatedly hammered on.
Yes,
even right from the beginning of this program. So nobody wants a horrible boss.
Nobody does. Nobody also wants a horrible worker.
So who is a horrible boss?
And do we have them?
Yes, we have horrible bosses. The same way, like you said, we have horrible employees. But if there's anything, one of the things I took away from business school was the fact that when you're trying to analyze a case study or assess a situation, it's always good not just to look at the symptoms, but to look at the underlying factors, the root causes. I'm saying this because what you would term a horrible boss will be different from what I would term a horrible boss. And by virtue of experience and over the years also being a boss myself, I've learned that two things are very, very key. Let me start with one first. We have to learn to be empathic. And I say that because a boss that is horrible, I don't believe everybody sets out to be horrible. This is my own way of, understanding the situation and coping with it.
Yeah.
There's something usually driving that person. Now, it takes a lot of emotional intelligence to be able to get to that point, to realize that. But having said that, on the flip side, yes, they're horrible bosses. And some of them is by virtue of the fact that they're dealing with one thing or the other. Some dealing with it and don't know how to handle it, and they take it out on you at work. And some, it's because of the pressure they are also getting from above, and they don't know where to, pour it out, and they pour it out on you. They don't know where to vent. They would rather, use you as their, what's the word now? They'll take it out on you. That's what I'm trying to say, basically. They'll take it out on you. Having said that, we also advise people as well, if you have a boss, I remember I had a presentation once on managing your boss.
Okay.
If you have a horrible boss, it will be good to try to understand what that boss is experiencing, really, if you can. Because I've discovered that most of them, like I said, it's really stems from what they've been through, what they're going through at that point in time. The pressures from home, the pressures from work, it can be from anywhere. And once you start with that first, it helps you to begin to look for a way out to work with that person. And I'll also be the first to admit, having said that there'll be some that you won't be able to cope with, no matter what tactics you use. Whatever you've learned, psychology, EI, whatever you use, they're still horrible people. In that instance, you might need to take a, like I said, judgment call and decide what you want to do.
Okay, and I'm thinking, does the disposition of the boss or the employer or the employee, is it hinged on work ethics? Because a lot of workers are just looking for jobs, but they are almost like totally ignorant of what it takes to be a good worker and to add value, like you said, at some points. So could this attitude, horrible or otherwise, be based on the knowledge of both parties on the work ethics? What is really expected in a proper workplace between the boss and the employee in terms of relationship?
Okay, a very good question. You agree with me that we have a lot of companies, some established, some not established. The established ones, the big ones, have structures in place. They have you get to join some companies and you're taken through the onboarding process and you're told about the work ethics in that particular company. We do this, we don't do this, we have regards for others, we're open-minded, we embrace diversity, they give you all that and then we don't do this. They have the ethics policy and they're very big on it and they will tell you if you do this, these are the repercussions. But for a lot of places that are not that structured, the work ethics is determined by whoever is in charge. Whoever has the say and whoever is calling the shot or whoever pays the money, pays the salary. So inevitably, the work ethics is usually determined by the culture in place within leadership. I tell people, if I want to know the things that the culture in a place, just give me 30 minutes to 1 hour with the leadership in that place. I can tell you what the culture of that place is.
Wow.
Yeah. You can't.
Because people watch them to be able to tell you what is accepted and not accepted. I worked in a place once, the owner of the place will go, "Oh, Mrs. Oshinaike, there's so much indiscipline in this place," blah, blah, blah. And I think to myself, it stems from you.
True.
Yeah.
Because they're watching what you're doing yourself and they're taking a cue from you that this is accepted. So when you talk about work ethics, it's a function of the company and most importantly, the leadership as well. What message are they sending out by what they condone, what they do themselves? It's a bigger message than your policies, even if you have them at all.
Yeah. Okay, Mrs. Oshinaike, you know what? I work in your company, but I can't choose my boss.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're stuck with some bosses who would rather not have. I can't choose my boss, but my boss can choose me. So how does one manage a horrible boss? Because you don't have it, you're stuck.
Okay. But at times, let me also tell you that at times you can't choose who you work with. Employees at times.
True. Yeah, people
like manager, you can.
People are thrown at you. Yeah,
that's right.
To you.
Take over a role and you have them reporting to you.
Yes. So when you're stuck.
To answer your question.
Yes.
To answer your question anyway. For me, these are one of the things that have helped me, like I said earlier, is one, I need to be first of all self-aware myself. Is it something I'm doing that is making the person a horrible boss? At times, it just might be. That's one. I need to be self-aware. Then also, I need to have empathy. Empathy is, okay, what is in this position, I see what my line manager is going through. I hear, the backlash he gets from whether the board or something. How can I help him in that situation? Now, anybody, your first job, I tell people your first job and your job description is to make your boss look good.
Okay, to make your boss look good.
Look good.
Wow.
That whether we might, some people might, the jury might be out on that in some cases, some school of thought to tell you no. But for me, for my years of experience and having worked with about 10 bosses or more, 10 line managers, it is your first job is to make them look good.
Wow.
You will agree with me that you can't have a team member or a direct report that makes you look good and is adding value to you and you want the person to leave, except you have issues yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you're doing all that, like I said, you're self-aware, you're sure it's not you're taking a look at what he's going through and you try to be helpful in one way or the other, then you might begin to look at your other options. But first and foremost, let's take a step back and not just assume this guy is horrible. He's horrible there must be something behind it. And if you can't perform it, your job is not to counsel him or to make him any better. Then you might need to take a walk for your own sanity.
Yes, of course.
All right. And perhaps in addition to making your boss look good so that the work environment will be conducive for everybody to achieve results, is performance also a part of this? Is it key in any work environment? And being horrible, does it have anything to do, with bosses driving you towards achieving results?
Good you raised that point. There's a particular industry we all know, I won't mention, but the feedback from that particular industry, especially in Nigeria, is that they have a lot of horrible bosses by virtue of the fact that they have numbers to deliver. The boss is under pressure. He needs to bring in the numbers, and he transfers that pressure to his team members. And then you see another thing is, if you've applied something and you see that it works, you continue to use it if you don't.
If you see that it works.
Yes.
Go ahead.
If you put pressure on somebody to bring in the numbers for you, and see that person deliver in that particular quarter, you feel that that's the what's the word now? That's the
magic.
Yes, that's what makes it work. So why don't I continue using it?
Yeah.
You see, you don't just think of the short term. You think of at the end of the long run, not in the long run. At the end of the long run, it usually does backfire.
And that's a very key point you just made, because the boss has to deliver on the numbers.
To another boss, and the boss is along the way.
To another boss or maybe to another boss. Now, bosses have to perform because they already have, they will be judged or marked by their performance. Okay? Do they have to be nice? Do bosses have to be nice? I don't have to be nice to get my results.
When you use the word nice,
very pregnant.
Now, our local balance is more like somebody that I'm so nice that you can walk all over me. So we need to be careful.
What nice?
Use the word nice.
How nice is nice?
For me, I from my own experience and the way I've worked with people that reported to me, the word is not being nice for me. The word is being kind.
Kind.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The word is being. So, I keep using that word and it's intentional. The word is being empathic.
Empathic.
The basis of humanity, if we go back to it, is to be kind and empathic towards one another.
Okay.
You see a lot of, I'm going to digress a bit, but you see a lot of skits, that go around and people are like, oh, please, I need $1 here. I need some money here. I missed the train. Could you help me? And you discover that it's the homeless people or the people that do not have much. They're usually the ones that are willing to do out of the little they have. You know why? because they've experienced lack. So they are willing to actually give.
Wow.
Than somebody who has a lot. Now, if you are a boss and your employee comes in late today, okay, oh, we came late, what happened? Oh, traffic and all that, you let it go. It happens a second time, it happens a third time. What you should be reaching out for is not query.
Okay.
It's not. It is to call the employee in and ask, it's unlike you, what's going on? Are you sure everything is okay?
Well, that's been nice.
That's been kind. That's been emphatic. And that's been kind.
I'm being very careful because I want people to understand where we're coming from.
Yeah, it's a thin line, really. It's a thin line.
It's a thin line. That's why I chose the word kind. So you see, that kind of person would feel that, okay, you truly care. And then you ask, what can we do? Okay, do you need some time off? Yeah. Or you need to come in, okay, you can come in 10 a.m. for the next few days to get yourself together, or you need some time off, or why do you think I can come in? That is being kind, and that is being empathic. You know why? Because I know that at times I might come in late because of traffic. I might come in late because my children are ill. So that's you see, that's if we can practice that, regardless of what the structure is within the company, regardless of what social media tells us, regardless of the pressures here and there, if those two things guide you, whether as a boss or even as an employee, you'll be better off.
That's right.
I can align with you here because I've really, in my work days, I've worked with hardliners as bosses, you know? And I mean it, bosses who were like, Helen, if I call you at 12 midnight, you must know that it is important and you need to get to my phone and pick up your phone and speak with me. Whether you're in bed with your husband or not, it gets that bad. But the same boss will call you in the morning and say, Helen, how are you today? How's the family? Last week you said one of your children, was down. How is he now? How is she now? How is the vehicle? I know she goes all the way and is like the flip side. And so you're able to balance, and really you can't call the boss a horrible boss.
A horrible boss.
But when the job needs to be done, it needs to be done. And she is a human being. And we just needed to gravitate with that. And that was reality for me. So I can align with what you just said. Nigeria just joined the rest of the world to celebrate again another May 1, International Workers' Day. Right here in Nigeria, I don't know how many states have implemented even the minimum wage of just 30,000 a month for the workers. I don't know where we are at this moment. Nigerian workers and government and lives fulfillment and lives balance and all of that. Are you there?
I'm here.
Yes, that's my question.
And what's the question?
The question is like, we just celebrated another Workers' Day. Is it just ceremony? Is it just tradition? What has changed? Even as small as 30,000 minimum wage, a lot of the state governors are yet to implement it.
Can I act like a true Nigerian here?
Yes, please.
And be in character. We Nigerians answer questions with questions. Ellen, what do you think? John, what do you think?
You're the expert here.
I think we
like, where do we go from here?
I think we addressed this earlier when we talked about how far would your
it's not taking you home, but I'm looking at...
Yes, so I don't think most Nigerian workers are getting home.
They're not?
In quotes,
yeah.
Based on what they are taking home. Right, so maybe that will answer your question.
Because she threw the question back at me.
She threw it back at us.
So you're trying to... No, seriously, because we had rallies, we had march pasts, and every year the labor leaders will troop to the national stadium in whatever state, and the ceremony goes on. but really, how much of impact does he have on the workers at the end of the day?
We're all just putting up a chart, really, if you ask me.
Okay.
A lot of us at our wit's end, especially the workers at the receiving end.
Okay.
And if you get to a point when you've done all the rigmaroling and you don't even know what to do next, you just go with the flow. So it's a very bad place to be, a place you don't want to be, but that's where we find ourselves right now in Nigeria, especially with the labor force, with the labor generally. Remember, I alluded to the fact that the labor law is outdated.
Yeah.
You read through it and you're like, in what day and age is this applicable? But you still have no choice, because when you get to court, it's still that labor law that will be used. That's what will be resorted to, in judging a case, alongside other documents or evidences placed before the judge. But so if we do not address those issues, we're just, like I said, we're just rigmaroling. So we'll do the emotions, it's parade day, we get the public holiday, hey, I get to rest, and then we go to get to do the parade. Then the governor maybe doles out money to the unions for them to do one thing or the other, and then we're back to square one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you ask me, I wish I had the remedy, but I don't.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Well, what you've given us is enough soothing balm.
Yes, it is. It is. But I'm asking, do we need soothing balm? That's my point of view. Well, we have learned so much from you today on the program, and we just hope that professionalism and the right attitude will take center stage as we talk of employees and employers. And once again, we thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
John, thank you.
I don't know where to start from, but I feel so fulfilled after hearing all of the tips and the way she's delivered them. She hasn't made it look. She's
HR, remember?
So horrible as our horrible employers. Okay. So I want to thank you so much for that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
For having me,
Thank you.
John and Helen. But I would like to also reiterate again that wherever we find ourselves and whatever positions we find ourselves, let those two things be our guide. Be kind and be empathic. Okay. That's the least you can do to show that you're human. Thank you for
you heard that. Be kind to me.
I heard that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's time to take another break. All right. It's Today with John and Helen on Plus TV Africa. We hope that we have made some sense, to the subject of today. Let's take a quick break, and then the show continues after that.
Hello and welcome to Tech Talk on Today with John and Helen. My name is Emmanuel Atta. I'm a content manager. I'm here to bring you tidbits of digital marketing that can help you build and maintain a strong online presence for your business. Now, video marketing is the best type of marketing you can do for your business online. People are spending less time reading, so you need to create content in video. So yes, there are other forms of content creation online that can excel your business. Yes, there's copywriting, there's graphic design, there is photography. Yes, those are forms. Those are different types of content that can promote your business online. But the best among all those is videos. You need to create videos for your business. You have to create videos that are professionally done, not just videos that are done by phone. I know that, yes, a lot of business people, particularly small business people, kind of like use their phones to just shoot videos and post them on Instagram, post them on Facebook. Yes, that can get you somewhere, but the kind of videos that would make your business known, not just within your locality, but internationally, are videos that are planned and shot with a camera by a professional. Those are the kind of videos that people from different parts of the world can see and be like, yes, they want to identify with your business. Now, what kind of video should you be creating? So first of all, you can create entertaining videos. Look, entertainment entertainment is taking over the world. So anything, any information you want to pass, it has to be kind of wrapped up in entertainment, and that is kind of what will catch people's attention when they are on social media, maybe on TikTok, maybe on YouTube, maybe on Facebook. Videos are one of the things that make people stop scrolling to try to check what that video is all about. Second kind of video you can create is educative videos. So these kind of videos are videos that kind of like educate your audience about your product or your services, maybe how to use it, what the product is all about, where, you know, to get it from. Those are like educative videos. Just try to teach people about stuff that are maybe not, might not necessarily be your product or your services, but are related to your product or services. You can also create informative videos. So just generally giving the public information about what you do. It can be personal presentation videos where you just talk to the camera. It could be product review videos, service review video, where you just give people general information about what you are doing, the kind of business you do, the kind of services you render. I mean, so but definitely when a lot of people are posting graphic designs, a lot of people keep posting cool pictures of products, which is good, right? If you're doing good product photography for your business, it's fine. But video is what is capable of moving the needle when it comes to making sales on the internet as far as this era is concerned, because all social media platforms are currently pushing more video content to the audience than pictures, than graphics, right? So create videos, because videos is one of the things that can make someone stop. A lot of people, you need to see how people scroll social media. People scroll social media with speed, but a video can make someone stop and then just look at their phone and say, oh, this could make sense for me. And from there, a sale could happen. So, that's my tip for today. My name is Emmanuel Atta, and that's all for today on Tech Talk on Today with John and Ellen. See you same time next week. Thank you.
And welcome to another fitness section with us at Alpha Fitness Studios. My name is Dolly Phillips and this is Elvis Echo, and we're going to be taking you through a HIIT workout today. So today we're going to work for 20 seconds and rest for 10 seconds. I have my timer here with us. So before we start, let's start with a quick warm-up. Everybody hands up, deep breath in. Shoulder rolls back, hands on the shoulders, rotate. 1. Opposite direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's reach over. 1. 3, 2, and 1. Now let's roll downwards. Release those hamstrings. 2. Very good. Nice and slow. 3. Good job. 4 and 5. Knees up. Let's go touch those knees. Wake those abs up. 1 and 2 and. Very good. 3 and 4 and 5. Hip circles. We're rotating. 5 to the left. Let's go. 5. Reverse direction. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out, shake it out. Are you ready for this workout, Elvis? We're ready. Okay, so I have my timer here. We're going to start the timer. The very first workout is your flutter kicks. So once you hear the whistle, we start. Once you hear the next whistle, you stop to rest. Are you ready? Let's go. If you can't kick this out like this, just kick out like this for me. Yes? We have levels. Come on, let's go. 2 and 1 and rest it. Okay, the next workout, high knees. So we're going to jog on the spot with our knees coming up high. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, let's go. If you can't, this is enough for me. Just make sure you continue moving. Four, three, two, and one. Rest it. That was good, huh? Next one, squat, leg over. Take those legs as high as possible. Are you ready? Let's go. And one. Wow, did you feel that one? Now we're going down to the floor. Hands down, send your legs back. Let's go, Elvis. Mountain climbers. Let's go. Push it. If you can't do this, you can just stay in plank or stay in all fours and pick up your knees. And rest it. We're still on the floor. We're going to do a plank on the elbows. Okay, Elvis and I are going to turn to the side so you can see what we're doing. Elbows down and out. Don't collapse your back, no. Lift it up, tuck in your pelvis and breathe. We have 10 seconds left. Woo! You can feel this one, huh? Make sure your elbows are directly under your shoulders and keep your face looking forward. Don't look down, look forward. Helps to straighten out your back. How are we doing? We have 3 seconds left. 2 and 1. Good job. Stretch it out. And now we're going to go into a sprint. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Sprint. Come on, go, 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 go. Faster. 2, 1, and relax. Impossible. Anyway, so let's stretch it out now. We've come to the end of this one. And out. Good job. In and out. In and out. One more. And out. Shoulder rolls back. Shoulder rolls. Good. 3 more. 2 and 1. Rotate forward. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's stretch those quads. Hold on to something if you need to. If you don't need to, find your balance. Stretch those quads. Quads are these muscles here in the front of your thighs. Very good. You need to work these muscles. As we get older, they're the first set of muscles to give way. So always make sure you work your muscle, your quads. All right? Good job. And down. Let's stretch our back. Slide down those thighs. All the way down. Fingertips on the floor. Straight legs. Stretch out your lower lumbar region. Very good. Oh, this feels so good. It stretches the back of the legs as well, the hamstrings. Bend your knees and slowly roll up. Ah, yes. Deep breath in. Open those legs all the way down and up. All the way down one more time. And out. One more. And out. Awesome. Elbow, elbow, elbow. Thanks for joining us today. We hope to see you very soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you so much to Dolly Phillips on the Keep Fit segment. That's our coach there, and Emmanuel Atta, who took us round and through the technology tech talk. Thank you both. Okay, John?
Okay, John.
Yeah, okay, John.
Yeah, it's time for our nuggets, our public speaking nugget. And today I have quite an interesting one for you, and I want you to listen carefully. The nugget for today: it's good to choose your topic, but it's better for the topic to choose you.
Wow.
Helen, think about it. Now, most of the time, we give topics to people guest speakers and all of them, to speak, right? Sometimes we say to them, oh, please pick a topic. That's not doing any justice to the speaker.
If they have to pick their topics.
Pick any topic.
Any topic, okay.
Pick any topic. Doesn't do justice to it.
Okay.
So we are looking for square pegs and square holes. Okay? If you identify a guest speaker and you know what he is good at or what his forte is, give him a topic that he can speak on. So you let the topic find him. You pick your topic and get a speaker that can do justice to that topic. Don't say to a speaker, pick any topic of your choice. Okay? So it's good for you to pick your topic, but it's better for the topic to pick you.
Okay. But isn't that what we normally do? You have a seminar, for example.
Yes.
And based on the area, you're focusing on, you begin to go in search of someone who's got value to give in that area.
Not all of the time.
And that's what you're saying we should do.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what you're okay.
I'm insisting that we get the right topic that fits. Get the right person for the topic.
Because I see
rather than throw it open.
I see that if we do that, it's a two-edged sword. You will get the speaker to do his best, and you'll get the listener, to get value.
Yeah. You see, what happens at most events is that we choose the speaker because we want to leverage on the mileage that the speaker's personality will give us. But we do not attach a topic that speaker is well versed on.
Okay.
Is it in or on? Right? Okay. So the point again is that yes, it's good for that speaker to pick a topic, but it's better for the topic to pick him.
Okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter who's speaking.
Okay.
The important thing is that the topic is properly dealt with.
Okay.
And
pretty much, I guess that's what we do here every week.
That's what we do here.
Yeah, that's what we do here.
And that's why I've chosen you, Helen. So that's the nugget for today. Of course, remember that the nugget is featured every week.
Yes.
On this segment on Today with John and Helen.
Okay. And I won't be doing any advertising for John. No further advertising for you. Okay. We have thoroughly enjoyed today's show. Today with John and Helen from Plus TV Africa. And as workers, when we remember that so much happened on the 1st of May, we just thought we should also add our voices. Yeah. And I think we've done a good job. Do you think we have done a good job? Then we are sure that you will join us again. Same time next week, Saturday morning, first outing. And then at 10:30, Saturday night, second outing, first repeat. And 9:30, Sunday morning, second repeat. And of course, we are on YouTube, the entire show. So you cannot say you haven't watched today's show. Go to any of these platforms and please get all of the information that the guest has given us today. Brilliant, brilliant conversation. Next week, there's a topic that's demystifying sexuality.
Sex and sexuality. I'm waiting for that one.
Okay, I am too. Yeah. We may be dealing with that, or if something better just pops up. Like, a lot of the time some current matters just pop up and we drop what we have planned. So we flow with what's going on.
I would have preferred you wore the red dress next week.
Danger. All right. So we're done.
So that'll be it for today. Thanks so much for being there for us.
And from me.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you to these brilliant guys who are here every time with us. The directors, the producer of this show, the camera guy. You guys are just excellent workers. All right? Thank you. And we'll see you again on Saturday next week. Bye for now.
Zamani ushanga ambayo tulikuwa tunashona, ushanga alikuwa anashona, ninashonea hii kidole, ninashonea masikio, ninashonea shingo. Hatuna biashara yoyote ya kuwa tunauza ushanga. Utauzia wapi? Sina juu pahali ambapo najua. Hata tulikuwa hatujui kwanza ushanga unauzwa. Tuuzie nani?
Kina mama wa Kimasai alikuwa atoke afanye kazi kwengine, maana kuna majukumu ya nyumbani. Yeye ndio anatafuta kuni, yeye ndio anatafuta maji, yeye ndio anaenda sokoni kununua chakula ya watoto. Kazi ya mzee ni kung'ang'ana na mifugo. Najua mifugo iko mara ngapi? Mara 3. Kuna ng'ombe, kuna mbuzi, kuna ndama wale wadogo. Sasa kazi ya waume ni kazi ya mifugo peke yao. Kwa hiyo sio rahisi mama atoke aende afanye kazi kwengine, maana mzee akitoka kama anaenda kung'ang'ana na mifugo yake, anayobaki pale nyumbani ni mama. Kwa hiyo si rahisi apate nafasi ya kwenda kufanya kazi.
Mama tu ni kukaa tu kuangalia mali na kukamua na kupika basi. Mzee alikuwa anashughulika mambo zingine sote.
Sasa akishika ng'ombe mmoja ama 2 na ana mahali nzuri anafuga, kwa miaka 10 utakuja kuta hiyo ng'ombe 2 imefika ng'ombe 50. Maana ndio kazi yao. Lakini sasa kulingana na hali ya anga vile ilivyo, imekuwa ngumu pia wafuga hivyo.
There was a lot of slash and burn agriculture in this area. People could just cut down forest. We had natural water pans in the forests, but those water pans have already dried up. We had some rivers which were flowing down from the top of the hill, and that water could stay for a longer time. But these days, those rivers are no longer there. This is because of the change of weather patterns, and it's because people have destroyed the forest.
Saa hii huwezi kupata mzee ako na ng'ombe 100 hapa. Kwa mfano mimi ndio nawaongoza. Niko na bibi 2. Niko na wakasa wanangu, bibi za vijana wangu 4. Kwa hiyo jamii yote kuna mama ni 6 na ng'ombe haifiki hata 20. Silikufa hata imebaki kama ng'ombe 15 hivi. Sasa unashida ukigawanya hizo ng'ombe 15 kwa hao kina mama kwa kila nyumba pale.
Anyasa na lenyoroi anya na ribanga samu kurunyabo anyebo nwenga Musa kwa juu kasi ingine, kasi yake tu ni ya mfugo. Ikitaka chakula mpaka ause mfugo. Sasa hizo mfugo ndio hizo sasa hausiki. Sasa tutabaki tu kuangaliana na hao mabibi. Ndio sasa naweza patia ruhusa, si ndio nimekuja sasa kupatia ruhusa sasa. Aenda afanye hizo mamradi, ndio sasa tuangalia kama atapata kitu kidogo ya kulete nyumbani. Halete chakula nyumbani.
Hiyo shida ya mume wangu vile amekuja paka akaja kaaga, imeletwa ni hiyo. Kumbe kitu ambayo unaizamini, unaifanya kama mtoto. Mzee wangu ameanza peresha hapo, na mwisho wake amekuja kwangu kuchukuliwa ni hiyo peresha. Amejamu tu, kumpeleka Voi hapa na ikawa ya kwake imeisha. Na peresha imekuja kwa ile mifugo yako. Watoto kama hawa wote, ng'ombe zimeisha, nitawapa nini? Tunenda tukashonee wazungu hizi bangili. Gari za wazungu zinakuja kama hapa, maana ilikuwa gari za wazungu zinakuja. Unaweka pale, unanunuliwa penginepo, maana penginepo una nyoo moja ni shilingi 500 wala shilingi 300. Unakimbia, unajua mtoto wako atakula nini? Atakula nini?
Mwanaume sasa Kimasai sasa akifika mahali yeye anachua watoto, aisee, hiyo ndio inakuwa ngumu. Lakini sasa mama sasa ndio akaona kazi, na asipoenda hatutapata kitu, itabidi tuvumilie. Na bado kuna shughuli za mifugo pia, wadogo hao hajatoka pia, unaangalia pia hapo. So tumekuta sasa sisi wanaume tumekuwa na kazi nyingi nyumbani kwa sababu mama kutoka kwenda kwa kazi yao ya kikundi.
Kitambo wasee ndio natafuta wamama akaa kwa nyumba, nakamua, naosha hiyo kibuyu yetu ya kukamua maziwa, alafu nafanya kazi yao kwa nyumba. Mzee naenda kutafuta jioni na kuja kukula, nafanya kazi wa boma. Yaani siku hizi wamama ndio natafuta, wasee siku hizi hakuna kazi. Angalia tu watoto, mbuzi, na watoto ndogo ya ndama, alafu mimi naenda kutafuta na kuja kukula wote na yeye.
Wanataka mind zao zimepanuka sasa. Wamekuwa na mindset tofauti. Wanataka amke, asimamie wengine, wanataka kwenda mbele, warejeshe zile vikundi kama za walemavu kwao. Naona tu wamebadilika. Hawako kama vile walikuwa.
Zamani ulikuwa unaambiwa kichwa ya nyumba ni nani? Kichwa ya boma. Si ndio? Unaambiwa ni mwanaume. Sasa hivi mimi naona kichwa ya boma ni mwanamke. Kwa nini si kwambia hivyo mtoto wangu? Naona wajukuu wangu anatoka huko, Wachija. Anakimbia kuliko aende akamwambie babake nimepokuzwa skuli. Anakimbia hata kama ni kumsalamia, anamsalamia tu kwa kichwa, anakimbia. Kwa nini umekuja mama? Nimepokuzwa ni mwalimu, anaenda kwa mamako. Zamani ilikuwa kuna hiyo.
Sasa hii ukikaa mtoto anakuambia mama siende kushona, nipate chakula. Sasa utatoka. Anajua mama ametoka, akirudi anaka mfuko ya unga. Hawezi kulala njaa.
Mimi kama mama ninafurahi, maana kama naenda nje kutafuta pesa yangu, nakuja kukula na familia yangu. Nyumba nakuwa mzuri, kama pesa ni nyingi najenga nyumba yangu. Najenga nyumba ya kupanga. Sasa hiyo kazi imekuwa mzuri sana. Naona kwa nyumba yangu iko sawa. Hata kwa familia yangu. Maana kama naweza kupata pesa, hata mamangu naweza kupata kitu kidogo. Ndugu zangu sina kula wote.
Maisha yangu sasa hii imebadilika sana. Kwa sababu vile nimeona maisha imebadilika. Watoto naenda mbele. Kwa sababu hii pesa ambayo napata naendeleza watoto wangu kwa masomo. Na naendeleza kwa kila kitu, kwa sababu nguo ya shule mimi naendeleza. Sasa hii nimeona mbali sana kwa sababu watoto wameenda shule kubwa sana. Na kwa sababu ya hiyo miradi yangu.
Kule tumetoka tunataka tu hiyo nguo ambayo tumelikuwa tumelalia tuitupe. Tunataka nguo mpya. Tunataka mabadiliko. Ndio tunataka.
Who would have thought that the faith of Leah Sharibu would make a nation struggle for survival?
Who would have thought that a line from the Bible would be stronger than a rifle and make this girl choose to die down to the night? She is the hero of faith.
Heroes of faith, the scar from the battle is their greatest title, not silver or gold. Heroes of faith, their greatest reward is the cross of the word, not riches untold. When all is said and done, their light keeps shining on.
Who would have thought that 4 years would go by and the nations would stand by in silence and pretend no wrong was done?
Who would have thought that no amount of darkness can quench the smallest light? Oh, daughter of Zion, keep shining on. You are the hero of faith.
Heroes of faith, the scar from the battle is their greatest title, not silver or gold. Heroes of faith, their greatest reward is the cross and the word, not riches untold. When all is said and done, their light keeps shining on.
Shining, shining, shining. Oh, shine the light.
Something about the Lord, His love is His power, and there is no lover that can give his life and die for his friends. Something about the Lord, His kingdom is forever. He will rule the world with power, in righteousness, peace, and joy. He is the hero of faith. Oh,
Heroes of faith, the scar from the battle is their greatest title, not silver or gold. Heroes of faith, their greatest reward is the cross and the word, not riches untold.
The All Progressives Congress in Rivers State held a Thanksgiving service in Port Harcourt recently. Party faithfuls in their thousands thronged the Adoke Amesia Marker Stadium for the two-in-one event. The first part featured prayers for the nation, victims of the recent Kaduna train attack, and the party.
Gave us the riches of His grace, receiving us from the powers of darkness and bringing us into the kingdom of His beloved. Almighty Father, you are lavish in bestowing all your gifts, and we give you thanks for the favors you have given us. In your goodness, you have favored us and kept us safe in the past. We ask that you continue to protect us as a nation and to shelter us in the shadow of your wings. O God, your people are represented here by all the ethnic groups and culture, by all people of religious persuasion. We are asking you this morning to heal the nation of our various ills, heal the nation of mediocrity, heal our nations of insecurity, heal our nations of corruption, heal our nations of bad rulers and delayed. Heal our nations of ignorance. Heal our nations of disunity. For it is in unity that we'll find strength. We pray that you give us your supporting hand in our new beginning as we glimpse the future, the unknown future, but a promising future.
10 to 14, and from the version of the Bible, NKJV. And I read, Now as Samuel was offering up the burnt offering, the Philistines drew near to battle against Israel. But the Lord thundered with a loud thunder upon the Philistines that day, and so confused them that they were overcome before Israel. And the men of Israel went out of Mizpah and pursued the Philistines and drove them back as far as below Bethkar. Then Samuel took a stone and set it up between Mizpah and Shen, and called its name Ebenezer, saying, Thus far the Lord has helped us.
Thereafter, Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong addressed the gathering. He congratulated the new APC executives in Rivers State for presenting a united front.
And the chairman of the Northern Government.
Hey,
you know that
I beg, now don't raise your hand up again.
Our brother,
No, this man.
Amechi,
I beg
is
you.
the Bank Amana of the north of northern Nigeria. That is to say, he is somebody in whom we are very comfortable. I also stand here to represent the Progressive Governors Forum. All the governors would have been here, progressive governors. But we were told that this is just a small takeoff from Rivers. And so they asked me to come and stand in for them. They asked me to come and stand in for them. For those of them who are not here, their spirits are always with us. Especially to our brother, the former Director General, because the journey started from here. I am very excited today because 6 years ago, when we started APC, we came to this stadium and we launched the zonal campaign. That zonal campaign produced a brand new president for this country. And he also led the campaign. We came back again and they said the only person that will lead the campaign again, it is an illustrious son of Rivers State.
The guy, the two of them. Now.
We made another campaign and we produce another president.
Hand up again.
Today the APC government is thriving. When we were told on television that there is no APC in Rivers State, I am sure what we have seen today, many people will not sleep in their houses. Because God is wonderful. Some people will say we want to take it by force. In APC, we will not take it by force. We will consider the grace of God. And that is grace, that grace of God is the one that is working in Chuboke, Amechi,
Former national chairman of APC, Adams Oshiomhole, commended the party for standing firm in spite of strong opposition in the state.
Let me join all those who have spoken before me in appreciating and acknowledging the man who has invited us to join the good people of Rivers State in prayers. First, to celebrate the unity of our party in this state, and even more, the great people of Rivers State. I want to appreciate the Honorable Minister of Transportation, my friend and my brother, who has extended to me and my family invitation to this great event. But I cannot appreciate him without appreciating the power behind him. Behind every successful minister of transportation, there is a more minister at home, Mrs. Chibuke Amechi. I appreciate my twin brother. The only difference is that he wears Babadiga and I wear my own khaki. As you can see, we have the same complexion. He wears a high cap in order to take one each advantage. Let me also appreciate the speaker, the deputy speaker, the authentic comrade, deputy speaker of the House of Representatives, who was once an activist in the university system, Honorable Wase. We have here a man who wears a clean white, brilliant Babadiga that depict the purity of his heart. Distinguished Senator Ndume. I cannot fail to acknowledge the man with whom we try to go around to meet the people. When I stand by him, I realize I'm also a giant. That is Victor Diado, National Vice Chairman of our great party, who has just been elected and re-elected. Maybe it's also an opportunity to congratulate you publicly and also to congratulate our brand new chairman, national chairman, a former governor, a former minister, a former senator, and now the national chairman of our great party, distinguished Senator Adamu Abdullahi. And I believe this unity fits squarely into the vision of the national leadership to ensure that there is unity in every part. You can't have unity in the whole if there is no unity in the part. It is the sum total of the unity of the parts that translates to the unity of the nation. I am particularly excited because we have made effort to unite our great party in Rivers State. And today, I am proud to be here to witness with my own Korokoro eyes the unity of APC under the able leadership of Honorable Chibuke Amechi. Your Excellencies and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the leaders have spoken. And why we're here is to thank God for what He did to us, to thank God for giving us the Honorable Minister of Transportation, and to thank God for what He did to all of us, and also to thank God for what will happen to us, to thank God for what will come to us. We will start here in Rivers. Youths, you go and interpret what I'm saying. There is a saying in our group. We say in Hausa, Zai kasance. Zai kasance. Zai kasance means it will happen, no. It will happen, no. APC Rivers Adumeka.
Thank you so much. It is indeed an honor that this is APC Rivers State. I know on behalf of the Ministry of Transportation, I bring you blessings, prayers, and congratulations. I know this is the beginning of the march for 2023. It starts here. It starts today. It starts now. In fact, it's finished. It's finished. We have done it. Congratulations. And inshallah, see you at inauguration. Inshallah.
We are here to celebrate God for the good thing we have in Rivers State, for the unity of the party in Rivers State. We are here to pray for God to receive the souls of all those who died in the train banditry incident from Abuja to Kaduna. We are here to pray God that all those who are in captivity should be released. We thank God for today. I am here to solidarize with a brother and to bring you good message from the people of Southeast. We former speakers across the 36 states of this country, we are here to show solidarity to our brother and friend, the man who has kept us going. And as I speak also on behalf of the governor of Plateau State, who is also a former speaker. And we are very many here. We want to say to you that all former speakers, irrespective of political dispensation and political affiliations, we are with our brother. Because Rotimi Amaechi Chibuike never discriminates against anybody. He just care about PDP, whatever political party you belong to, he doesn't care. He's a man who believes in human beings and believes in the welfare of all. So we must support him. We are here for Thanksgiving. We will be here again for a bigger Thanksgiving. That is a prophecy, and it will come to pass in Jesus' name.
The high point of speeches came when the party leader in the zone, Right Honorable Rotimi Amaechi, who is also the Minister of Transportation, took the rostrum. He first went on a lap of honor around the stadium, acknowledging delegates from all local governments of the state. He titled his speech, "Forward with Courage." In the first paragraph, Minister Amaechi declared his interest to run for the office of president.
Fellow Nigerians, I stand before you today to declare my intention and submit my application to serve as your next president.
Listing his 23 years of public service in different capacities, Amaechi acknowledged the challenges facing the country. He offered himself to lead the onerous task of taking Nigeria out of the woods.
I have served our nation for the last 7 years as Minister of Transportation. For 8 years before that, I served as Governor of Rivers State. In the preceding 8 years before that, I was Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly. Within this period, I've also served as the Director General of President Buhari campaign organization twice. These 23 years of service have equipped me not only with great experience in governance and public service, but also compassion for the ordinary citizens of our dear country. After more than 2 decades in the public arena, I had wanted to go on holiday and spend more time with my family before charting a new course outside politics. But at 56, because I'm 56 years old, I'm a member of the generation born after independence, who has seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of Nigeria. I'm compelled by the urgency of our present challenges to place my experience and proven capacity at the service of the nation at the highest level. Those who know me can testify that I have always been a straight talker. This trait has not always made me popular, but I speak with truth. I speak the truth with conviction. So allow me to speak the truth here today. We are facing some very serious challenges as a country. These are problems of insecurity, challenges of greater accountability in governance, youth unemployment, and the scourge of spiritual poverty. These problems are, however, not the exclusive preserve of Nigeria. We live in a troubled world. The reality we used to know has altered in nearly every nation. Climate change has brought about food scarcity in some places. Population explosion has produced unusual pressure on resources and supplies. Poverty has become a challenge all over the world, especially in the developing world. The COVID crisis has placed unanticipated burdens on the budget of nations and put pressure on available resources. Transborder crises have erupted in unusual places and placed the internal security of many nations under pressure. We are part of the Sahel, an area of the world that is subject to frequent terrorist attacks. Let us look at our current challenges as part and consequences of these global trends. I admit that Nigeria's problem did not begin today, and they will not be solved overnight. But they are not beyond the capacity of our people to solve. Fortunately, that process has already started. There is an ancient proverb that a society, and I quote, a society that grows great when old men plant trees, under whose shade they know they will never sit. The current administration, under the able leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, has planted many such trees in Nigeria's future. We have invested billions in infrastructure, human capital development, and made reforms that will pay off over time in terms of socioeconomic growth and stability. We have invested heavily in projects and initiatives that will secure a brighter, better future for Nigeria. I am proud to have been part of this success story. It has been an honor overseeing the Ministry of Transportation in reviving the moribund railways and working tirelessly to create an integrated national transportation system that will positively impact our economy, trade, employment, business, and national cohesion. Have we achieved everything we set out to do? Of course not. Could we have done more? Undoubtedly, there's always room for improvement. On reflection, the notion of running for president would have been far beyond the imagination of the young lad running around the streets of Kyoto or our small compound in Lubima. Not to talk of the young, indigent student leader, Bob Blanton Pierce at the University of Port Harcourt. But my aspiration is not about fulfilling any personal ambition. I am contesting for the office because I believe that it is my moral duty to give what I can in the service of my country.
Now that Amaechi has declared to run for the presidency on the APC's banner, what really are his chances?
There's no doubt, like he said, that it's going to be tough. But with a man, Chibuike Rotimi Amaechi, as a flag bearer, which I know that definitely all lines will fall for him at the end of the day in APC, and all lines will also fall for him, on the election day proper, where Nigerians are going to determine their destinies. And I'm sure that with God that he has always trusted, with God that we have always trusted, we have also always believed in him, in the capacity that he has. You can understand the man we are talking about, the man who has respect for those who made him. That man is Chibuike Rotimi Amaechi, 2023 president.
For him, he will continue. Look at the railway revolution. Look at the road revolution. The Niger Bridge, what Fashola has done there. It's the same kind of thing we're talking about. Look at the border, Bonny Road. These are roads that people thought would have been impossible. It's as difficult like the Third Mainland Bridge of Lagos. And this administration of Buhari is doing it. We are also having what the clean